tools and testing equipment. Also got a pair of ladders there. That noise was the keys. I think they put a lovely bell on. Obviously that's my camera equipment. You don't need that if you're not doing a YouTube video. So what I normally do is have a check around the property, have a look at the socket outlets. I'll come to that in a minute down there. Have a look in kitchens, see if there's anywhere downlights. We've got a garage here. There's no light in there at the minute, but we've yet to have a look at that. Downstairs bathroom, or mid-stairs bathroom, as you'll see in a second. So in here we've got downlights. There is living space above, so I'll be looking at fire rating of these lights. Seem to be in the right places where you would expect them to be. Lights look neatly installed, and just general things like that. There is no extractor in the downstairs toilet, but it's an older install, so these things don't usually get done on older installs. So I'll just have a venture downstairs. Again, lights. Here we've got a bathroom. It's got an extractor. Again, downlights. They do look IP rated, yet to confirm it. It's not an electric shower, it's a mixer, thermostatic mixer, so we don't have to worry so much about that. Fan isolator, generally very clean sort of place, looks fairly modern. Again, in the bedroom here, there's no downlights. I've had a quick look around this house just before. The sockets seem to be in the right places. Light switches all where you would expect them, and just general things like that. Just to get, this is basically to get a general feel of how the install, what was going through the electrician's head when he was installing. I've noticed there's a smoke alarm up there. That looks like one of the battery powered ones. Again, this install was probably done when there wasn't a requirement for smoke alarms and me. Now this is another sort of bedroom cum little office area. Again, light switches, sockets where you would kind of think they would go. I'm not sure why there's two singles like that, but there is a socket down there where you would expect maybe some shelves. Here again, sockets. We've got one downlight in that area. We don't have to worry about fire rating with these lights, as there's no living space above. It's just attic area. Again, we've got a smoke alarm where we would expect one. I need to confirm, but I do think it's battery. Up here we've got bathroom with a window. So the reason why I'm saying that is because there's no extractor. Obviously, if you've got a window, you don't necessarily need an extractor. Always a good idea. Got a mirror here that looks like a lighted mirror. Yep, there we go. You can see my lovely mug. Some lovely pictures. I also look at obviously where the cables are, and where people tend to love to hang things above and below sockets. But here it seems to be, again, because it's a holiday cottage, it's quite minimal. there's, you know, sockets where you would expect them, you know, a single socket. And again, all the accessories, all the sockets and switches look like they've been renewed recently, using MK stuff, so not bad equipment, not bad at all. Yeah, so let me just go down here. So no concerns about the install at the moment. Need to find where the gas bonding is, the water bonding, and check all that. That'll be the next thing I do. I won't put that on camera because I need to dig around, because here, let me just get a torch. Probably cut that. Here we do have an old fuse board. So it's recently been signed off. No, I say recently. 2018 was 2013 was the last inspection. Okay, so it's not then, but obviously that's an older board. It's got a 45 amp little mini board next to it that says something, not too sure. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 light circuits, bell, which will be that there. Not overly keen that it's installed straight underneath a sink. Obviously they haven't had any troubles with it. I can't see any water ingress or anything. This does have a crack in the top of it there, and no RCD protection. Now this is where we come to, is it safe, is it not? So obviously when it was installed there was no requirement for RCD protection. What I will be doing is checking if everything is bonded. There's nothing there that I can see. Again, new install. Why they didn't upgrade the fuse board, I don't know. But it passed in 2013, which is a lot newer than the board. Yeah, so basically we need to check if everything is bonded. Gas, water, all your sort of outlets, making sure the sink is bonded, the pipes, because they're all in copper. All the light switches are class 2, but they do have metal. You know, it's still classed as class 2, but it's got metal screws. So anyway, check under here. We've got copper piping, so that'll all need to be checked. And basically, you've got some what looks like class 1 fittings, light fittings there. Down lights are all right. You've got some wall lights which are class 1, I think. Well, they've got earth. Basically, you just need to test it. And yeah, so all, like I say, all the switches and sockets are all plastic, but still we need to check everything is bonded. So back to the board, and do you pass a board with RCD, with no RCD protection? You obviously up to the electrician who's doing the test. Hello, right, sorry, the camera broke. So what, as I was saying, is at what point do you start looking at failing this property because there's no RCD protection? If there's no bonding, Now, I did find the let me just change that. Yeah. The water is down there, and that looks like it's bonded. Got the boiler over there, and the gas is outside in a cupboard, which I've looked, and there's bond in there as well. So if everything in here is bonded, then obviously it was correct at the time of install. And that's kind of where you look at. If it was correct at the time of install, obviously things do change, like it probably was correct at time of install to not have fire rated downlights, but obvious things do change. That's what you need to sort of keep on top of your regs, basically. So if this was a less neat install, I'd certainly be looking at failing this with an older board. As it happens, it looks on the face of everything. You know, if I get to every socket, I'll be checking every socket and light switch, light fittings, just to make sure that everything's got earth. I'll do my C2, my R2 testing for everything in here, all the circuits, and just to make sure that everything that has got any sort of metal exposure, like these lights, sockets, these terminals, any metal light fittings, and you know, if there's any water pipes exposed, then just check that everything is bonded. If it is, then I would still pass this property. To me, it looks a fairly neat, well looked after property. So I don't see any reason why it should fail. I would definitely put a recommendation for a new fuse board. You know, to be done certainly within the next year or two. It depends on the owner at that point. All you can do is voice your opinions. You can state that it's highly advised to get a new board. And, you know, it's again then up to the owner of the property whether they want to get one fitted. I would imagine back in 2013, when it was last inspected, RCDs were still a thing, but obviously not as prevalent as they are now. And that's it, really. I would do the whole day. I haven't got time to film a full EICR. This is basically an overview of a property, what I would do when I first come into a property before I even start testing. It gives you an idea of what the property's like, how far to go into testing. You know, so we know there's no RCD protection. We know we've got downlights there that we need to check, and just basically check everywhere for earth. The next thing I do, which I won't do it on camera, I'll take the fuse board off, cover off, and check to see basically how neat the board's wired. You know, it's not just an Instagram new thing for boards being wired neatly. I've seen quite a lot of boards older than this one, wired in just as neat as you see on Instagram and everything like that. It shows to me, it gives you an idea of what the electrician's like who also fitted the board. You know, if it's nice and neat in there, you can pretty much guarantee that the rest of his work was done nice and neat. You know, it's almost a gateway to what the electrician was doing at the time of install. You know, because these fittings could have been changed at any time. They probably have been. And probably when the last inspection was done. That looks like an older one, but again, it's an old MK when MK was good. Yeah, this just gives you an idea of what I first do. You know, you can go and look on YouTube about how other people do the test inside of it. I just don't have the time today to film that and do the work as well. Again, with being a holiday cottage, you've got to get this done within the day, and the day's getting late. But I'm in Ambleside. It is raining, but you know, it does rain. I think they say 3 days out of every 5 rain. Somewhere in the Lake District, and it's certainly raining today, but it's still a lovely place, and that's it. Anyway, that's me done, I think, as far as I got. So that's my setup. I've got this into 360. I've got these Rode mics, so hopefully they're working fine. And yeah, it's just like the old selfie thing with your camera, but I'll turn it around. Right, so that's me done, and I'll get on with doing some work. Hope this has been some sort of help to someone, to give you an idea of what I do. Next thing, I'll get the laptop out, start marking down everything, what I've seen in the observations, and then crack the board open, have a look inside it, see what's in there, see what's bonded. Because of the board is the next thing I'll do, I'll start doing all the R2 testing, just to make sure everything's bonded. Everything has an earth, and yeah, and record that in the certificate with the laptop, and then hopefully everything passes. I go away and you know, come back with a new fuse board and replace the one that's in there. Right, anyway, I best go and do some work. I'm Andy, and